The Denver Broncos just made a bold move, one that taps into a formula that's worked for them time and time again. Once again, they found a cornerback hiding in plain sight, and if history tells us anything, this could be another game changer. Let's break it down. This signing follows a pattern that's quietly been part of the Broncos' DNA, finding undrafted or overlooked talent and turning them into weapons. Think back, Rod Smith, Chris Harris Jr., Philip Lindsay, all undrafted, all stars in their own right. And just last season, it was Dondre Tillman, a name that didn't turn heads at first until he racked up 5 sacks in limited snaps. That's the kind of ceiling we're talking about. Now enter the newest addition, Mario Goodrich. He's not just another name, he's a proven leader. A former team captain at Clemson, Goodrich led one of the most respected programs in college football. He made 3 college football playoff appearances. He won a national championship. And in his senior year, he was a straight-up force, earning all ACC honors, All-American third team, and being named MVP of the Cheez-It Bowl. That game, he delivered a forced fumble on a clutch third down and followed it with a pick 6. That's what you call a playmaker. Sean Payton clearly has a type. High character, battle-tested, relentless guys who know how to win. And Goodrich checks every box. He may not have had the elite 40-time scouts wanted, but he's more than just numbers. He's a baller. And while injuries have held him back in stints with the Eagles and Giants, every time he's been on the field, he's shown flashes. 70 defensive snaps in Philly's always loaded defense, 40 more on special teams. And even though injuries kept him off rosters long term, multiple teams were willing to take a chance on him. That tells you something. Now the Broncos are betting on him too. And with Sean Payton's eye for talent and a track record of turning underdogs into starters, this isn't just a depth signing, it's a calculated risk, one that could pay off big. Training camp is almost here. The battles are about to begin. And don't be surprised if Mario Goodrich fights his way into this roster and into the hearts of Broncos country. Mario Goodrich's journey hasn't been smooth, and that's what makes it powerful. Injuries stalled the end of his college career and continued to follow him into the UFL and NFL. But when you watch the tape, one thing becomes clear. The talent has always been there. Let's talk about what sets him apart. First off, 0 missed tackles in college. None. That's almost unheard of at his position. He's a lockdown tackler with the instincts of a seasoned pro. Add in his MVP performance in the Cheez-It Bowl and a spot on PFF's All-Honor team, and you've got the resume of a player who just needs one shot to stick. He brings size and strength to the position, a press corner who isn't just physical in coverage but who thrives against the run. He's not just fast, he's impactful. In that Cheez-It Bowl, his 2 biggest moments say everything. A pick 6 off a tip pass, right place, right time, and the awareness to take it to the house. Later in that same game, a third down scramble ends with him delivering a devastating hit and forcing a fumble. That's championship level instinct and aggression. And here's the thing, multiple NFL teams have seen something in him. Philadelphia gave him a look. So did the Giants. The only thing keeping him off a roster has been health, not talent. Now Denver steps in, and the Broncos aren't strangers to this script. Just look at what happened last season with Dondre Tillman, another overlooked player who made an impact the moment he got his chance. But here's the reality. Breaking into this Broncos cornerback room is a different beast altogether. Patrick Surtain II is arguably the best in the game. Riley Moss has insane upside when healthy. Jaquan McMillian flashed elite play 2 seasons ago. Then they added first-round pick Jalen Barron, and Chris Abrams-Draine came in last year and immediately picked off Justin Herbert. This room is stacked. So if Goodrich wants a roster spot, special teams will be the battleground. That's his path in. And if he shines there, then maybe, just maybe, he can push a guy like Chris Abrams-Draine, or even open the door for Denver to trade McMillian for draft capital. Either way, this is the kind of story that defines the preseason. A gritty, physical, hungry player fighting through injury setbacks, trying to climb into the NFL through the front door, and walking into one of the league's most competitive position groups. This is where the drama lives, and training camp hasn't even started yet. The Broncos cornerback room is overloaded, and that's a great problem to have. Sean Payton knows exactly what he's doing. He's doubling down on the strength of this team, the defense. That confidence speaks volumes. While other teams are scrambling to patch holes, Denver is stockpiling elite depth. The rest of the league has already taken notice. This defense was one of the league's best, and somehow it just got better. If durability is the only concern with Mario Goodrich, then Denver might be the perfect place to turn the page. Under Peyton's leadership, and with Bo Lowry overseeing player health and performance, the Broncos have built a system that protects their guys and keeps them on the field. If Goodrich is ever going to stay healthy for an entire NFL season, this is the place. Now, let's talk training camp. The wait is finally over. Rookie report day is set for July 16th, with the veterans arriving on July 22nd. But that's not all. The Broncos are making a bold move this year by hosting not one, but two joint practices. First up, the San Francisco 49ers. That's a heavyweight matchup. Two physical, disciplined defenses clashing in practice. Iron sharpening iron. Going up against a squad featuring Dre Greenlaw, Talanoa Hufanga, and Christian McCaffrey will give Denver's offense one of the toughest tests it'll see all year. It's also a full circle moment for some 49ers who have ties to Denver, from Shanahan's roots to John Lynch's deep legacy. Then Denver will take on the Arizona Cardinals in another joint session. That brings a totally different kind of challenge. A mobile quarterback in Kyler Murray who keeps defenses honest on every snap. It's the perfect prep for facing dual-threat QBs like Cam Ward later in the season. From Murray to Purdy, from McCaffrey to the Cardinals spread game, these joint practices aren't just sparring sessions. They're calculated matchups designed to sharpen Denver's defense at every level. Sean Payton isn't just preparing this team for Week 1. He's building toughness, chemistry, and situational readiness from the ground up. This training camp won't just separate starters from depth. It will shape the identity of a team that's preparing to fight for every inch in a brutal AFC. Sean Payton knows exactly what he's doing. The joint practices with the 49ers and Cardinals aren't just smart, they're strategic. Payton has always said these practices give him more insight than preseason games ever could. Why? Because starters don't play much or at all in preseason. But in joint practices, you get live action reps. So yes, we're going to see Kyler Murray take snaps. We're going to watch Brock Purdy operate under pressure. And Denver's defense is going to get real, meaningful reps against two very different offensive systems. That's where teams grow. That's where depth is tested. And thanks to the Broncos' powerful ownership group, the team can afford to go all in on these valuable matchups. Flying out to Santa Clara, housing players, running two full-scale joint sessions, it's a luxury most franchises can't afford. But Denver can, and they're using that advantage to get better. Training camp officially begins July 22nd. It'll look different this year. New seating, construction underway, tighter access. But one thing hasn't changed, the expectations. This camp matters. This team is built for more. And just as the Broncos prepare for war, the national spotlight is starting to catch on. CBS's Pete Prisco dropped his annual top 100 NFL players list, and 3 Broncos made the cut. No surprise here. Pat Surtain II ranked among the league's elite, and rightfully so. He's arguably the best cornerback in football, fluid, physical, and fearless. Then there's Quinn Miners, who went from being completely off the radar to nearly cracking the top 50. That rise speaks volumes. His dominance in the trenches is no longer a secret. Garrett Bowles also made the list. And while that's deserved, the bigger conversation is, where are the rest of the Broncos? 3 players on a top 100 list for one of the NFL's best defenses just isn't enough. Meanwhile, teams like the Lions had 7 players ranked. The disrespect is real. And let's talk about some of the names that did make it. Mahomes? Of course. Myles Garrett? No question. But Saquon Barkley in the top 3? A running back that high in today's NFL? It's a bold call. You could argue that Josh Allen deserves that spot because in this league, quarterback value is everything. Then you scroll down further. Micah Parsons, TJ Watt, Aiden Hutchinson, big names no doubt. But Hutchinson, still recovering, unproven health, yet he's ahead of multiple healthy, dominant Broncos defenders. This league's memory is short, but that's fine. Let them forget. Let them overlook. Because this Broncos team is quietly building something terrifying. And come kickoff, they'll be ready to remind everyone exactly who they are. Let's keep it real. When you break down the numbers, some of the names left off the top 100 players list are flat out disrespectful. Start with the basics. Pass rushers are judged by impact, and that begins with getting to the quarterback. Yet somehow names like Nick Bonitto and Zach Allen were completely left off the list. That's hard to justify. Bonitto's numbers last season weren't just solid, they were explosive. 13.5 sacks, 33 total tackles, a higher sack total than Trey Hendrickson, who did make the list. Production that outpaced several edge rushers listed ahead of him, including names like Aiden Hutchinson and even Micah Parsons, who had less impact in key categories. This isn't about hype, it's about production. Bonitto brought consistent pressure and closed plays. That's exactly what you want from your edge. And Zach Allen? His presence on the defensive line was crucial. He may not always show up in highlight reels, but he's a relentless disruptor, a force in the run game, a steady hand in pass rush. At the very least, he deserved a spot near the bottom of that top 100. When players produce at that level and still get left off, that's not just a snub, it's fuel. The good news? Denver's not waiting around for respect. The roster's getting stronger, the culture is shifting, and the guys in this locker room are hungry to prove something. So here's the question. Do these rankings matter? Maybe not in the long run, but in the heart of every competitor, they light a fire. And the Broncos are walking into the season with a chip on their shoulder, ready to prove they belong among the league's best. Training camp is coming. A new signing just added more fuel, and this defense is about to send a message.